In a previous episode, I demonstrated how to make chicken stock, which is naturally gluten-free. Now in this episode, we're going to pick up where we're going to be pressure canning our stock to be able to store it in our pantry. Now that your chicken stock has refrigerated overnight, a thin layer of fat has collected on the top. Now all you do is take a slotted spoon and remove the fat layer into a bowl for disposal. Once this is complete, your chicken stock is ready to be reheated. Go ahead and pour it into your cooking pan. And turn it back up to medium-high heat. We are now at the point in our canning process where we're prepping our jars. Currently we have our glass jars in the dishwasher on the sanitized cycle. We have we have a bath towel out on the counter for later on when the jars are coming out of the canning. I'm also putting in 7 bands and 7 lids into a pot of water. I will bring this pot of water up to 180 degrees and keep it simmering until they are ready for use. Currently, I'm in the process of bringing my broth up to a nice boil, and now I also have my pressure canner with about 4 inches of water, bringing that up to temperature as well. Now that our rings and seals are boiling for 10 minutes, our stock has been boiling for just as long, and we have our pot hot ready to go. I'm going to fill my first jar. I just pulled it out of the dishwasher, so it's very hot, so that's why I used a glove to make sure I don't burn myself. I'm going to go ahead and put in my funnel, and I'm going to pour my chicken stock into my jar. I want to make sure that I fill it to the top, but I do want to leave about 1 inch from the top to make sure that it gives enough room in the pressure canner. I'm going to now remove this, and I'm going to grab one of my lids. I'm going to place it, be very careful, it is hot, but I am going to place it in the center. Now I'm going to grab one of my bands and put it in there as well. Not only did I just fill the jar with hot broth, I'm also using very hot lids, so I'm going to put my band on tight. I did not really tighten it very hard, but enough just to make it snug. Now I'm going to use my grips and place it into the canner. Just repeat that process till you have all of your broth is used up, or you have filled your canner with the 7 jars that it holds. Now that the canner is filled with the jars, it is time to place the lid on the pressure canner. The Presto canner lid is placed on the canner, then twisted into the locked position. Once the lid is securely locked onto the pressure canner, wait for steam to begin venting from the vent pipe. Once that steam begins to escape, set your timer for 10 minutes. Once the steam has vented for that 10 minutes, place the regulator onto the vent pipe. After placing the regulator onto the vent pipe, the pressure begins to build. The cover lock will rise when the pressure is in the canner to prevent the lid from being removed. When you first start canning, you will need to learn about how the heat from your stove affects the pressure. We start building the pressure using medium-high heat setting on our stove, but when the pressure reaches about 8 psi, we reduce the stove setting to about medium, and then when the unit reaches the desired pressure for canning, we then set the stove to medium-low. The recipes in the manufacturer's instructions provide the pressure needed at sea level to safely pressure can. Refer to your Ball Blue Book Guide for Preserving for adjusting the pressure to your specific elevation. We have already done the calculations for our kitchen. Using the amazing magic of video, we are going to fast forward for about 25 minutes, which is the amount of time that the unit took to reach the required pressure for this canning recipe. Once the unit reaches the desired pressure, which is 11 psi at our elevation, we started the timer for 25 minutes, and that is per the recipe provided by the manufacturer. Please note that the pressure must be at or higher than the required pressure for a continuous 25 minutes. So if for any reason the pressure drops below that required temperature, adjust your stovetop to reach it and then restart your timer. Well, I'm very excited to announce that our 25 minutes is complete. I've turned off our stove, which will allow the pressure canner to cool. Now remember, you do not want to move your pressure canner as it cools. Let it sit in place. So the canner itself is going to start to slowly come down to it reaches 0 psi, and then the cover lock will drop, allowing the cover to be removed. Once again, we'll use the wonderful magic of video to speed up this process for you. And speeding up the video will also help you not fall asleep while watching it. After the pressure releases and the cover lock is disengaged, it is time to remove the pressure canning lid. Please remember that the contents are still incredibly hot, so make sure that you open the lid away from your face. Here's the exciting part. You get to remove your jars from the canner. So using the jar lifter tool, you can remove the hot jars from the pressure canner and place them into your cooling area. Personally, we like to use a bath towel spread out on the countertop as our cooling area. At any point after removing the lid, you're going to start hearing these little pops as the seals on the jars seal. That pop is a good sign that you have succeeded with your canning project. Now isn't that a fun sound? In fact, it's music to my ears. Let the jars cool for at least 12 hours and then label them with the contents and the date. Pressure canned chicken stock will hold in your pantry for up to 1 year. We also can beef stock, so labeling the contents is very important to help keep them apart in the pantry. I truly hope that this video has inspired you to give pressure canning a try. If you jump in, drop me a message on YouTube or at connectglutenfree.com and let me know how things went. Happy canning!